Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we're talking about Hurricane Harvey, a Category 4 storm that hit the Gulf Coast of Texas this Saturday. A horrible disaster to say the least. Our prayers of course go out to those still weathering through the storm and the flooding happening there this weekend. But we're not here to just talk about the storm today. President Trump is beginning a lot of flack this weekend for issues related to the hurricane, supposedly. For better or worse, Trump has been pulled into the storm cyclone, so to speak. But will he be facing the soft winds of the outer fringes? Or will the Donald get sucked into the storm's eye? Let's see what happens as we read some things people have to say on Twitter. This first tweet I saw about it was from the king of cucks himself, Mr. Hank Green from the Vlogbrothers. He dropped this little ditty on Friday. In the coming months, as we deal with utter devastation in Texas, don't forget what President Trump spent his time on today. That's a reference to the media dump Trump's team decided to drop on Friday night, which we'll get to soon, but first, what's this other bit about, Hank? You said as we deal with utter devastation in Texas? Are you going down there to help yourself, big guy? I could see Hank being the next Sean Penn on this one, showing up to a natural disaster in a little dinghy boat to rescue people. I'm sure Hank would love a little photo op like that. We all know he loves doing all this public charity shit to try and make himself look good. Hank really thinks he's some kind of superhero. Poor little guy. Stay in Montana, you inbred fuck. Let the professionals deal with this shit. Now back to that media dump. No, not that kind of dump. A lot of people were criticizing Trump's dump for making a couple of significant announcements on Friday, supposedly in the cover of the storm. There was first the pardoning of former Sheriff Joe Arpaio, which should be surprising to no one who's been following Trump since the campaign. Arpaio was one of Trump's earliest and most outspoken supporters. Pardoning him was Trump's thank you for the loyalty. Plus, the guy's 85 years old. I don't think he needs to die in prison for arresting illegal aliens in Arizona. Let's just try not to send cops to jail for doing their fucking jobs. Even if those illegals he's putting away do vote Democrat, let's at least try and have a little respect for law and order here. Next, Trump officially signed the guidelines for the trans ban from the military. Again, not too surprising for anyone following along with the news. And the last announcement was Seb Gorka is to be leaving the Trump team, probably because of their disagreements. All these announcements came out in a Friday news dump, a pretty common practice actually. But the big problem is, this time, according to some, Trump was using this natural disaster to cover up his controversial announcements. Well, I say bullshit to that. These announcements were coming either way, and it just so happened the hurricane was coming then too. I mean, what's Trump supposed to do? Pause and put a hold on everything for a whole week while Texas recovers? No, the rest of the country and the world carries on. And also, some people are smart enough to fucking multitask. I guess these naysaying liberals are not. The funny thing is, it's leftists like Hank Green and people in the mainstream media who are trying to tie everything Trump's doing this weekend to the hurricane, using this tragic event to try and bully the president and make him look bad. It's pretty ironic actually. The liberals are accusing Trump of using the hurricane for his selfish reasons, when really that's what they're doing. They're tying everything he says right now back to the hurricane to try and make him look bad. And that's just as bad or worse than what they're accusing him of. For example, here's Ashley Feinberg saying this on Twitter. Of his 19 tweets about the hurricane thus far, Trump has given no indication that he's even aware that people have died. Very classy. Ashley's not only using the hurricane to bash Trump, she's also exploiting the deaths of the poor people dying in Houston or in the area. She's using those tragedies to say Trump is doing a bad job reacting to the hurricane. It's just despicable, and he's not even doing a bad job. In fact, everyone's been praising Trump's work here. He got FEMA on the ground before the storm even landed. He's working with his team around the clock at Camp David, and he's assisting all the officials in Texas to the max. He's doing all he can do. But wait, apparently he wasn't supposed to go to Camp David this weekend either. Here we got Adam Park-Homenko tweeting this. At the start of a Category 4 hurricane, Trump leaves for a vacation at Camp David, doesn't address the nation, and pardons a racist. Are you guys starting to see the trend this weekend? No matter what Trump does, it's wrong, and the liberals will find a way to use the hurricane to try and make it look worse. Like the bit about Trump going on vacation to Camp David. Nigga, please. A vacation for a president is like maybe having a few hours of leisure time on the weekend. It's not like Trump is going on a wild bender in the Bahamas. The guy doesn't even drink. And plus, he's just in Camp David, which is just as fully equipped to delegate from as the White House, which is also only a couple hours away if need be. So I really see no issue here. But the left didn't just use the hurricane to attack Trump's media dump and his Camp David trip. No, they also used this natural disaster to criticize every single tweet Trump made this weekend, even stuff not related to the hurricane. Here's a tweet from Brian Klass. President Trump's message to those affected by Hurricane Harvey facing death or losing their home. Buy this book, and also, I won Missouri. And this completely ignores all the other tweets Trump sent about Texas and wishing them the best and being helpful and stuff. No, Brian just skips to these pics he has below of two Trump tweets. Two Trump tweets he cherry-picked to try and make him look bad. The first of which is complimenting Sheriff Clark's new book. And if you ask me, Sheriff David Clark is a fucking patriot. He's a hero bringing law and order to an important part of the country that really needs it. I don't get what the left has against cops anyway. First, they attacked Trump for supporting former Sheriff Arpaio, and now it's Sheriff Clark. If you're on the side that's against cops and the president and the government and law and order, you're usually on the wrong side if you ask me. At least that's how it works in most movies. Trump's second tweet here is just him announcing that he's going back to Missouri soon, which should be a good thing, right? Trump is an active president who visits many states often. That's why he fucking won the election, but Democrats just don't get that. Clearly, they're too used to losing, I guess. That's why they're mocking Trump for mentioning something like this during the hurricane, and it really just seems like anything Trump says or does this weekend is going to be tied back to this hurricane by leftists. They're really using the natural disaster for their personal goals more than Trump ever did. I mean, Trump tweets almost every day, multiple times. He's had dozens of different tweets this weekend, maybe half of which are already about the hurricane, but apparently that's not enough for these types. I guess they wanted Trump to only tweet about the storm in exactly the way they wanted him to. Well, I think we can all agree that they would be dogging Trump in one way or another, no matter what he says. If he did only tweet about the storm, they would say he's ignoring other issues or something. You really can't win with these types of liberals, especially considering Trump's response to this hurricane was one of the best ever. Many normies and regular people out there have recognized that, but the leftists in the mainstream media can't handle giving Trump any sort of compliment of any kind. That's why they have to reach and try and slam him for other random shit. And some people aren't even reaching that far. Take this tweet from Hen Amory. I checked on my sister in Houston. Grocery shelves were stripped clean. She's been on the hunt for bread. No one feels like Trump's here for us. People are literally blaming Trump for the problems a hurricane causes. What the fuck is Trump supposed to do? Go and stock the store shelves himself with bread? Try and stop the hurricane with some sort of land shield? I don't know. I don't know what the fuck these kind of people expect. It really sounds like people like this have no clue how this shit works. Hurricane relief isn't even technically a national issue for the president to handle. This is the job of the local government. The cities and the mayors and the government are supposed to handle this shit, not the president. Sure, Trump stepped in with FEMA and will provide federal aid where needed, but the president really just assists the locals. So, needless to say, blaming Trump for food shortages is just ridiculous. If anyone should be blamed for someone's lack of food, it should really be that very person's fault for not preparing. People knew this hurricane was coming all week, and you're gonna go out and try and get bread on the day of? You're the fucking problem, lady, not Trump. This is really the modern equivalent of the thanks Obama meme. Not to defend that tranny lover, but people sure love saying thanks Obama ironically about everything bad that happened during his presidency. And surprise, surprise, people are now blindly blaming Trump for everything, usually without good reason or any understanding of what the president actually does or has control over. Hint, hint, natural disasters are not in the president's realm of control. Everything from the storm itself to the local relief are largely out of Trump's hands, despite every liberal and leftist doing whatever they can to blame him. What do you guys think? Is the left using this national tragedy as a way to try and slander Trump? Has the president's response been helpful for Texas? Comment your thoughts below, and thanks for watching No Bullshit. See y'all next time. And a couple updates about our Patreon page. We got a couple live streams coming up on our second channel this week. We also reached our first goal of $500 a month, so I'm going to be opening a P.O. box very soon, so you guys can send me letters and other fun stuff for maybe an unboxing video or something. We're also inching in on our next goal of $1,000 a month, which, when we reach, I will be doing a face reveal, so you get to see how handsome I am behind this microphone. Thanks again for watching and supporting. See y'all next time. One more thing, I want to give a special thanks to these amazing Patreon supporters. You guys are the best. You guys went above and beyond the rest, and I love you so much for it. If anyone else wants to donate or join our Patreon crew, link in the description. Thanks again.
We're talking about alternatives and stuff like that, and I even mentioned PewTube because James mentioned it earlier on Twitter, and so someone brought up a good point. I wonder what the CPM on Pornhub is.
Maybe we should go to Pornhub. What if we went to Pornhub, like, and just like did our voiceovers over like just dick sucking,
gangbang videos? If I can,
we're just watching someone get cum shots, and then I'm just here talking about Google's CEO.
Like, I'm taking the piss from Steve Shives. This lady's getting railed by like 6 black dudes.
I'll be honest. That's not too far off from like the endings of my videos where I get hot chicks on sometimes. But maybe we could just up the ante. Let's all go to Pornhub.
Guys, no, Pornhub offers monetization.
They do. No, yeah. It's not the worst idea. I mean, there's porn stars that use that just like they would use at YouTube.
Yeah, it's called the amateur earnings program from Pornhub.
Yeah, dude. Let's be. You guys want to be amateurs? Let's do some amateur porn. I mean,
do you think Pornhub has a creators for change section?
What do you think their hate speech policy is? I mean,
I don't know. They're probably not very strict because they have those border patrol porn videos where it's like,
oh yeah, I mean, they have tons of black dudes on there, and like they're very diverse.
I'm pretty sure there's a video somewhere, some chick like "fuck me, nigger."
Oh yeah.
I've seen that one. Yeah,
that's a fetish.
Right, my black 18-year-old pussy.
Dude, I think we just had a $1 million idea, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead.
Intellectual property.
Yeah, we're all gonna make the move to Pornhub. That's the new move, guys. Everyone watching.